Hey, Shalom, 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 YAHWAH, Bashem, Yashabarakatah. Before I get this lesson started, this observation that I'm making, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHWASHI, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from, and a Shalom. So hopefully, elect brothers, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is YAHWASHI. This is your brother Radah, with an observation. I want you guys to look at this.
Trying to divide the country, and what you're doing is trying to divide the country, and I've lived through 50 years of this crap. All these fake race wars that they're always promoting. Oh, go hate each other while we loot the treasury. That's exactly what's going on, and most people are totally sick of that. So yes, there is a possibility for a huge coalition of decent people once they free their minds from the traps set for them by others and realize, wait a second, we all want to make this country better. And
So we covered the AmFest that TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's organization, had their AmFest. It was more like a wrestling show because Erica Kirk put it together instead of Charlie. But Tucker gave a speech there, and we've already covered parts of it where he called out Ben Shapiro. But there was some much better parts to that speech. It was a great speech, and here he is trying to bring people together, sounding a little like Jimmy Dore, trying to bring people together. Let's watch.
most people agree with that. Most Americans have more in common with each other than they disagree on. And almost everybody
Who says that? Who do you know who says that?
agrees on that. And almost everybody is willing to tolerate a good faith argument about how to get there. Except a few. And they're the ones running around calling everyone an anti-Semite. But everyone else is like, yeah, of course, that should be the debate.
That's what I wanted to get at. So everything he's saying is, I believe it's focused at the small hats, which is what it's gonna fuel the people on the bottom who don't really know what's going on because they don't know what's going on with prophecy. They don't know their own nationality. They don't know who Esau is. They don't know who the 12 tribes is. They don't know what or who Amalek is, the head tribe of Edom, who are the people, the Israelis, the nine candle menorah people, the small hats, the fake, the counterfeit of Salakia, the controversy of Zion. That is what that is called, that identity theft that they did in 1948. But what is this doing? This is going to split. This is going to further split, the nation. And I believe Tucker Carlson on some level is controlled opposition. I don't believe he's all the way. I don't believe this is organic because you've got Candace Owens. Salaki, let him play a little bit more, and I'm going to pull up Candace Owens because she's doing the same thing.
And they'll vote for you. They want that because they know they haven't had that. That's the fact. And what you're watching now, attacking millions of Americans because they're Muslims, it's disgusting. And I'm a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I know there's a lot of effort to claim I'm a secret jihadi. I'm not. You should not attack people on those grounds. And you're seeing it from Republicans. What the hell are you doing? What you're doing is trying to divide the country. And I've lived through 50 years of this crap. All these fake race wars that they're always promoting. Oh, go hate each other while we loot the treasury. That's exactly what's going on. And most people are totally sick of that. So yes, there is a possibility for a huge coalition of decent people once they free their minds from the traps set for them by others and realize, wait a second, we all want to make this country better. And the 15% or 30% who don't, okay. Good luck in Maryland or wherever you wind up. But the rest of us would like to fix it. Yeah.
There's no fixing it. There's no fixing it. What do the precepts say, man? And see, this is what these people claim to be Christian. They claim to be God-fearing. They claim to know the Son of God. They call him Jesus Christ. That's not his name. His name is YAHWASHI, right? We would have healed Babylon. And this is talking about America. America is Babylon. Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah, the entire chapter 50, and Jeremiah, the entire chapter 51 is all about America. Okay? And then Renaissance Western Christianity says they can't find America in biblical prophecy. How convenient. Why? Because America would ultimately condemn the so-called white man, because America is the so-called white man's experiment. It's his. It's not ours. It's his. So how convenient. You know what I'm saying? So they can't find the Most High judging the most rich, the most globally influencing, and the most wicked nation in human history is not in Bible prophecy, then what was prophecy then? If that country's not in prophecy, it doesn't make any sense, man. Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. And even now, you see people leaving America and they're finding home and refuge in other nations. That's what this is going to. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up unto the skies. What's the other thing, too? Oh, we got to come together. We got to heal this nation. No, it's not going to happen. I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. And this is also speaking about America, you guys, because the Egyptians never fought each other. And Egypt is not even a nation anymore. And there is no record of the Egyptians fighting themselves concerning God's people. This is a future prophecy about another country that would be like Egypt, and Egypt is synonymous with the house of bondage, and America was founded on chattel slavery. 400 years of it. The worst type of slavery in human history. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. There goes your Edomites against Edomites. Right? You got your Republican Edomites and your Democrat Edomites. You got your rich Edomites and your poor Edomites. You got your so-called racist Edomites. And then you got your liberal, brown and black loving Edomites. They're all divided. They're divided from Canada to America. They're divided. They're divided. Germany just left or is leaving NATO. NATO is eventually going to turn on fucking America. Russia is our Edomites, and they've never been fucking with America. They've always been white on white crime is the biggest kept secret in the universe, man. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, let's pull up Candace Owens. This, Candace Owens. And this bitch is controlled opposition like a motherfucker. Her goddamn husband's a fucking Edomite. Says the Jews. Look at this, man. And so this is going to be, this is the Jews did slavery. Let me see. I'm just paraphrasing it. Let me see if that pulls it up.
Candace Owens hates Jewish people so much that she's now trying to weaponize black people to now hate them too on the basis of slavery.
Jewish people were the ones
and see that was a weird take, because it's not that she hates the Jews. I believe she's being told to say this. That's why I think she's got the #1 podcast right now in America. You're not going to be that big in the media if you're not being used by Amalek. Amalek is the first of the nations right now. They are in control of everything. You're not going to have that huge of a podcast. You know what I'm saying? You can go viral, but you're not going to have a consistently huge podcast. And she gets paid. I think I heard that she makes like $150,000 per episode or whatever the fuck. She's making money, bro. This is true. Amalek did do this. What she is saying is factual. But she's fucking controlled opposition. Look.
Wake up and learn the true history of slavery.
And she's not a prophet. She's a woman. The Most High doesn't use women to declare his truth. He uses men. And the apostles of GMS, the elders and the apostles of GMS, have taught all this. They got lessons, millions of lessons, literally hundreds of thousands of lessons uploaded into YouTube, TikTok, fucking all the other YouTube or all the other media outlets on the unicorn, teaching everything. Who is this bitch? And then she makes the statement that she also puts a curveball. She tries to bring together so-called black people and so-called white people and then say it's only the Jews, but so-called white people are Edomites, and the so-called Jews, the small hats, they are also Edomites. So she's trying to make us look at them. It's very clever, but Edomites are also our enemies, you guys.
Because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us.
And Jewish people are the tribe of Amalek, and Amalek is the grandson of Edom, and Edom is the Edomites. So, and this is what not knowing. This is where listening to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone and learning the new song, the 100% truth. Okay, that is only for the elect. This is where the elect are separated from the rest of the planet of the earth, because the rest of the earth is operating under darkness.
People were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there.
Holy crap, guys, it's actually happening. Candace Owens just made a video complaining about Ben Shapiro, and she absolutely drops a nuke on him and the Jews. Let's go ahead and jump into this. This is absolutely insane.
I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have...
That's true. Everybody I know says they have a visceral response whenever they see Ben Shapiro. I mean, people are absolutely disgusted by that guy.
Absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you.
Now, again, she's controlled opposition, but the opposition that she's controlled by, or the people that are controlling her opposition, are ultimately controlled by YAHWAH and what? Amos. If evil happened in the city, have I not done it? Okay. Look, Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? What does the trumpet symbolize? It symbolizes a few things: the voice of the Most High, the prophets declaring. It's a warning from the watchman. The enemy is approaching. It's a sound of assembly, a time for worship. There's different sounds that a trumpet makes, and depending on what sound it is, the people that are in that nation, in that kingdom, they understand the sound and they know how to move based on that sound. When it's a time for war, when it's a time for worship, when it's a time for assembly, when it's a time for me to be inside. That's what this is talking about. YAHWAH does all of these things. YAHWAH Tazabawath, YAHWAH of hosts, the Most High, the Heavenly Father of YAHWASHI, our future, our King, who will rule on the throne of Malak Dawadah, King David. Okay, Amos 3:6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and YAHWAH hath not done it? He does it all, right? Surely the Lord power will do nothing. Oof. But he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Okay, and this is where the understanding, this is where the interpretation comes in. It comes in through the men, the elect men. Those are the ones who are teaching the 100% truth. Candace is not a prophet, but she is controlled opposition, and she's got a huge platform, and this is all falling in to the plans of the Most High.
He doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. The question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien,
Okay, this was not what I was wanting. Salakia. Let me see. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so you have the majority report that's responding to something that Candace.
And I'm not I'm not trying to get her information to teach anyone who may listen to this lesson. Oh, the Jews did the transatlantic slave trade. Of course they did. The Jews are truly their real name is Amalek, and they are the head tribe. Look, they are the first of the nations right now. They are the head tribe. We'll get those precepts. Amalek was the first. This is a prophecy showing you, look, Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked upon Amalek, that is the grandson of Esau. Esau is Edom, and Amalek is the head tribe of Edom. These are all your so-called white people. So everything in prophecy governs the earth, and everything's about rank and file. So Amalek are the highest ranking Edomites. This is why they are at the top of everything in the so-called white rulership. It's based on prophecy. It's based on spiritual authority. And they are the specific tribe of white people, Edomites, they are the tip top of all white people. But they've been calling themselves Jews, which is called the controversy of Zion. They have stolen our identity, and they are posing on the earth as God's chosen people when we are. And we are able to explain this through the precepts and prophecy, and all the so-called small hats can do is say, hey, we're the chosen people because the news told you so. We're the chosen people because we're white. We're the chosen people because we say so. That's all they can do, and they have power. No, Amalek, they're Amalek. Because look, and when he looked upon Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. Do you understand how powerful that line is? And what's the word first? What is first? Let's get the first. What? Look, first. Look, foremost, going before all others, chief, principal. Also, through rarely as an adverb at first. Okay, you got to understand this. Who is the chief race of people? Who are the foremost? Who are the principal people on the earth right now? And who has had that position for a while? Just because we're all beginning to see it now doesn't mean they haven't had that position for a while. Who runs Hollywood? Well, what does Hollywood do? Hollywood directs the minds of the earth through their movies. Well, who controls Hollywood? Who controls the press? Who controls radio? What is the press? What is the radio? What is Hollywood? It's media. That's airwaves. They are the prince of the power of the air. Look, you see prince? You see it. See the word prince? Prince, Dutch, word first. Okay? This is what first means. All right? And if they're the first, let's get that in the, what is that? Let's get that in the blue letter. Numbers 24:20. I'm just making a point. Look, I'm just making a point here. In Numbers 24:20, if Candace is if she's on the media talking about the first of the nations in a negative light, that can only mean two things. YAHWAH YAHWASHI from Amos has declared that it will be so, and he controls the minds of Amalek, and Amalek on their left-handed council has decided to allow her to do this. But it ultimately is the Most High doing it, okay? 20. So look, interlinear, and when he looked upon Amalek, he took up this parable and said, Amalek is the first of the nations, the first, beginning, best, chief, beginning, first. So how come if this person is called the first of the nations, and there's 18 nations on the planet Earth, and nobody knows the name of Amalek, why do you think that is? Exactly, because they've been hiding themselves, which then goes into what? It goes into the precept. Because remember, hold on, let me show you that Amalek, the grandson of Esau. Look, you got to see it. So you don't just think so Genesis 36:12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. So he's the grandson of Esau. You see? Can you see it? That's the lineage. So now, oh wow, and I just forgot the other point that I was going to make before I made that one. Damn it. Oh wow, Salakia. I was going to make another point, and I just completely brain farted it. Damn. But so he's the first of the nations. Oh yeah. There it is. YAHWASHI. Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. So look. So we know that Amalek is the chief of the nations, and we know nobody knows his name. And we know that now Amalek is the grandson of Esau, which is Edom. So Amalek, the Jews are the chief. They're the chief family amongst the Edomites. They're the chief Edomites amongst the Edomites. And look, Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. And that's what all of this is going into. Once you're able to understand all of this, you'll understand why this is going on. Candace is not doing this on her own. She is not a prophet, you guys. In fact, she is disqualified on so many levels. She's a woman, and she's defiled. Why? Because she is married to a fucking Edomite. She's married to these people. Her husband, his DNA is in her body, and she has 2 children by this man. She's completely off. She's not qualified. But she is, however, still under the authority of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai because she's on this planet, right? And Amalek, the chief of the nations, is also under Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai's authority because they're on this planet, and ultimately he reigns in the kingdom of men. I could pull that precept out of Daniel, too, so that the living may know that the Most High reigns. The Jews don't run shit. The Amalekites don't run shit. They are the chief of the nations, but they still have to do what Yahweh says they will do in prophecy.
Owens had said. Let's take a listen, and then we're going to try to answer the question, who started slavery in America?
Well, who started ultimately Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai did, because that was in the covenant, Deuteronomy and Numbers, that if we would obey, we would be the head nation. We would be above all nations, but if we would disobey, the curses would come upon us and we would serve our enemies, and slavery is part of those curses. So Yahweh did it. But the chief of the nations, Amalek, was used to bring it about.
Strategy, good.
And I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules.
See how she just did that? He hates you, white man, and he hates you, black. Sounds great, right? Ooh. And in some kind of ways, there is a little bit of truth to it. But white men are Edomites, and Esau is the biblical arch enemy of Jacob. We're not black. We're the Hebrew Israelites. See, you have to take those two color constructs off. White men aren't white. Black men aren't black. White men are the Edomites. Black men are the Hebrew Israelites. So are the Latinos. So are the Native Americans. Yes, we were scattered to the 4 corners, and we look like all the other nations too. That's your speckled bird. But predominantly, we are so-called black and brown people. And we do have people that look like white and Chinese because we were scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. But we're not black and white.
So the Talmud, when I say hate, they think that we're animals. That they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us.
So this is huge, okay? This is she's talking big shit. This video got a few views, but this one got 27,000. Look at this one. This one got 143,000. This one got like 300. But this is spreading. Everyone's seeing this girl. She's really famous. There's another 19,000. It's like scandalous. You know, she's talking shit about Shapiro. She's bringing out all this stuff, right? And ultimately, it's got so-called white America thinking and so-called black America thinking, when really it's Edomites and Hebrew Israelites, right? And then you got what fucking what Carlson Tucker was saying. Let me see if I can find that. Go back to here.
Now, I've been saying for a while that when the banks crashed our economy after deregulating themselves, they crashed our economy in 2008, and the bankers didn't miss their bonus checks, but Barack Obama did kick 5.1 million families out of their homes. Now, you go to, so that's when the Occupy Wall Street started and the Tea Party started. And they were both organizing around hatred for Wall Street and the billionaire class who were screwing everybody. So what did the establishment do?
And so regardless of whatever, what does prophecy say? The Most High is going to stir everything up. He's going to set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Jacob's trouble is going to set in. The mark of the beast is going to be implanted, the MOTB. The digital currency is going to set in, the quote unquote New World Order. And then the time that's going to try the whole earth, the time of piercing, which the elect will be purified. We will have to go through that fire, and billions of people are going to fucking die. And everyone's going to know that Esau, Edom is the man of sin. There's not going to be no rapture to come to save the so-called white Christian church and all the brown and black people that are following after that bullshit. Right? It's going to be made apparent that the men, the elders and the prophet, the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, and all the men that followed that doctrine, it's going to be made apparent that it was them that knew the truth. People are going to be looking to try to talk to them, like the scriptures say, right? And we're not going to panic because we're going to have wisdom. Wisdom shall be the stability of our time, and everybody else is going to be fucking freaking out. America's going to collapse and spin out of control. If you read, just this, man, just this whole chapter right here, the word of Lord, the word of Yahweh speaking against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. So who are the Chaldeans? The Chaldeans were your real deal witchcraft, your witch people. How is America established? If you look at how George Washington laid out the streets in Washington, D.C., it's a fucking pentagram. Look at the Pentagon. That's the inside of a pentagram. Everything the so-called white man does is witchcraft. This is talking about America, and it's talking about them. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation amongst her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. I believe that's talking about Russia fucking fighting America. And in those days, in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah. There goes your northern and southern kingdom, your Latinos and your blacks together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh, their power. That's talking about the elect. That's all of us happening now. They shall ask the way to Zion. That's what we're doing now in these camps. Every time you see us gathering in camps, and we're reading the new song, we're learning the lyrics to the new song, Revelation chapter 14. We're leaving Christianity. We're leaving Islam. We're no longer calling and trusting in white Jesus. We're calling on Yahawah, YAHWASHI. That's their names. They shall ask the way to Zion. That's the government, the rulership of Israel. The governmental authority, the laws, statutes, and commandments, the truth, the correct understanding of what is written, not what other nationalities have told us what is written. God, non-Hebrew Israelites cannot teach cannot teach the scriptures. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces to the word, saying, come and let us join ourselves to Yahweh in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. So this is going into everything that's happening, is Ezekiel 37. So I just wanted to kind of speak on this. I didn't want it to be too deep. Just want to talk about what's going on here.
The establishment do? They figured out we got to divide these people. We can't let them come together. And that's when identity politics.
See, and these dumbasses still think that they're still talking about somehow if we just fight and come together, we're going to win and continue in fucking America. Bro, America has to be destroyed. There's too much bloodshed that has happened in this nation that the bloodshed has to be shed from the people who shed it. These people do not understand how judgment and reincarnation works, man. America has shed too much Hebrew Israelite blood. Talking about the slaves. You don't understand how many people they murdered here, that these people have to pay for that, man. There's no making America better again. That shit's not going to fucking happen. It's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, man. So It's just wow. And bro, we can get a lot of information from these people, but it's so fucking crazy how absolutely in the dark all of them are. They're just fucking clueless. Their rulership is up. Everything about their people is being exposed, right? And YAHWAH B'Hashem Yahushai, the next ruler is YAHWASHI, man. A star shall rise out of Jacob. That's talking about YAHWASHI, man. Numbers. It's going to be a star shall rise. It's in Numbers. Look, bro. I see him. This is Numbers 24:17. I see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob. That star is YAHWASHI, our most beloved elder brother. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. It's talking about his rulership. And shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Seth. Look what the next portion says. Remember that Edom? Remember that nation of Edom? And who's the first of the nations right now? Amalek. Edom's top tribe is in rulership on the earth right now. And Edom shall be a possession. YAHWASHI is going to own these people like fucking pets. Seir, Mount Seir is where Edom got its beginning. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Yasharallah, the real. Yes. Huh? Hold on, Salakia, interruption on the door, but Edom shall be a possession. YAHWASHI is coming to own these people. And you can best believe that the very top elite families of this nationality, they know these prophecies and they want to stop this. And that's what goes into the war of heaven, Revelation chapter 12. The Battle of Armageddon, Yahweh Shaphat, 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Every movie you've ever seen about UFOs, they're very interesting, but they're blasphemy and they're slandering because they're telling you that those are aliens, that they're ugly, that they want to explode your brain or probe your butthole. No, those are handsome, holy angels, Allahayim, that operate those chariots. Those are the hosts. Those are the armies of Yahweh Tazabawath, man. You know, the archangel Michael operates in one of those things. Same with Gabar Allah, Gabriel. All the angels operate in those wheels of fire, and YAHWASHI is coming back on the fathership, man. So, what was the other one? Man, there was another one. Salakia. So, a star shall rise at it. Oh yeah, Salakia. Look, Esau is the end of the world. This is what this is all. There's no saving America, you guys. They are at the beginning stages of losing everything, and they don't perceive. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau, Amalek, the small hats, is the end of the world. That world is age. Their rulership, their way of life on the earth, their media, their suits and ties, their shaved beards and short hair, and the way they talk and how they do things on TV, all of that, their vibration that is permeated throughout the entire planet, that is going to be ripped out of the earth, man. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And who is the star out of Jacob? That's YAHWASHI. So let's read this prophecy like this. Amalek, right, the so-called small hats, and all other so-called white people, right, are the end of the global hegemony. And YAHWASHI, the star of Yasharallah, the star of the 12 tribes, the most beloved elder brother, the son of Yahweh Tazabawath, is the beginning of it. From the throne of King David, because those are all the elements that are involved, YAHWASHI ruling from the throne of King David is the beginning of it that followeth. That's what's coming to happen when YAHWASHI defeats the enemies. He subdues the earth because he's going to be completing the request of his father, the commandment of his father. When he told Adam and Eve, subdue the earth. Remember when he was told that in Genesis to subdue the earth? He's going to subdue the earth when he comes back. Subdue subdue the earth. Look, because Adam is YAHWASHI. For all of you that don't understand reincarnation. Genesis 1:28, and God blessed them. Talking about Adam and Eve, talking about YAHWASHI and his elect. That's how you interpret this. This is Adam, this is YAHWASHI, and Eve is the type of shadow of the elect. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it. What's that word, subdue? And this is what YAHWASHI is coming back to do. Subdue. Look at this. Look at this. To conquer. Bam! Army. People. To reduce to subjection. This is what YAHWASHI is coming to do. He's coming to conquer. He's coming to conquer. Look. Armies. He cometh with the clouds. He cometh with fire. Look. Look, for behold, YAHWAH will come with fire and with the chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Right? That's what he's doing. He's sending YAHWASHI. He cometh with clouds. Look, watch, and I'll end it. He cometh with clouds. He cometh with clouds. And the clouds are the chariots. Look, bayah, bayah. Bayah, 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 all upon him. Look, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him. There goes your reincarnation. The Roman soldiers that pierced him 2,000 years ago, those Edomites are in the government of Esau right now, of Edom, right? And they are alive today. There could be Amalekites too. There could be small hats, but they're alive today somewhere in a position of power. They will see YAHWASHI when he comes back on the chariot. They'll more than likely be in an underground $1 trillion bunker somewhere. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. There's no getting away from this, bro. They're not fixing America. America is not
come together, and that's when identity politics really took off. And you wanted to identify by your skin color instead of the character, the content of your character, which is the opposite of what Martin Luther King said. You want to identify by your sexuality. You want to identify with your ethnicity, every other thing except as an American with shared interests with each other. And so that's when they started to plant stories about white nationalists, and everything was racist and everything was sexist, and you got to worry about the Nazi next door. You remember?
These dudes are trying to come up with this false narrative that we're all going to come together peaceably to go against the enemy that we have now just finally identified. Whew! No, it's just more of the enemy has been identified. The enemy is still Edom. It's just now people are realizing how effed up Amalek is, and they still don't even know them by their true national names. So these people are screwed. I pray that this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakadosh, double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the whole elect, the 144,000 chosen, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is YAHWASHI. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.